Vladimir Putin coasting to victory in the Russian presidential election, even as the first exit polls came out shortly after 9 p.m. time in Moscow. He was at over 70% of the vote. Now, the Russian president then came out shortly afterwards and spoke to supporters here right outside the Kremlin. He thanked them for their support. He also said that unity was very important now to Russia. There was a lot of work to be done to make Russia better for future generations. There was about 35,000 people who turned out here at the square outside the Kremlin, many of them waving Russian flags. It was a very patriotic event that took place. No one here really expected that Vladimir Putin was going to lose this election, but two things were in question. First of all, how much of the vote was he going to get? And then second of all, how high was the turnout going to be? Turnout, of course, very important, because one of the things that Vladimir Putin himself was wary of is whether or not there would be voter apathy. This is a man, of course, who has been in power here in this country for a very long time. The field of contenders running against Putin was quite weak. The next best contender, the runner-up, the communist Pavel Grudinin, he really didn't get much of the vote. He was miles behind Vladimir Putin. So it really wasn't in question that Putin was going to win this election. The only question was really how much and also how big the turnout was going to be. Vladimir Putin also went back to business as usual very, very quickly, talking about the case of the former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter, who of course were poisoned in London, saying that Russia was not behind it, and if it would have been a military-grade nerve agent that was used, that they would have been dead immediately. So clearly, the election for Vladimir Putin, not much more than a formality as far as the election itself was concerned, and him going back to business as usual very quickly.